Aliens, General stunned. These human soldiers are unbelievable. The battlefield was supposed to be a formality. General Zalrath of the VARE Dominion had led countless campaigns across the galaxy, crushing primitive species beneath the might of his empire. When his forces invaded the human colony on Epsilon 4, he expected swift and absolute victory. After all, the Dominion had superior numbers, advanced technology, and centuries of warfare experience. The humans? Just another primitive race that should have been too weak to resist. Yet, what followed defied all logic. The first wave should have wiped them out. His elite shock troopers, clad in nearly indestructible armor and wielding plasma weapons that could melt through starship hulls, landed with precision. But the humans didn't scatter in terror. They didn't beg for mercy. Instead, they fought back with a ferocity unlike anything he had ever seen. They adapted instantly, using the terrain to their advantage, setting traps and coordinating ambushes that disrupted his troops. Even when outnumbered 10-1, they held their ground, refusing to surrender. His tactical officers reported engagements where human soldiers, gravely injured, continued fighting long past what should have been possible. They dragged themselves through the mud, bleeding and broken, just to take one more shot, to plant one more explosive, to deny the VARE their so-called easy victory. Zalrath watched in disbelief as his army, trained for planetary conquest, found itself in a grinding war of attrition. The humans didn't rely on superior technology. Their weapons were crude by comparison. Kinetic firearms instead of energy weapons, primitive explosives instead of high-energy disruptors. And yet, they were winning battles they had no right to win. It wasn't just their tactics that disturbed him. It was their sheer willpower. His soldiers were biologically programmed for efficiency, their pain receptors dulled to maintain combat effectiveness. The humans, however, seemed to thrive on hardship. They pushed through injuries that should have left them incapacitated. They fought in conditions that would have broken lesser species. Some of his captured soldiers reported horrifying tales of humans fighting on despite missing limbs, despite wounds that would have killed any other warrior in minutes. And then there were their dead. The VARE fought wars methodically. Casualties were calculated, and soldiers left behind were considered lost assets. The humans? They retrieved everyone. No soldier was abandoned, no matter the cost. They risked everything to pull their wounded from the battlefield, to recover their fallen, so they could be buried with honor. His strategists had suggested using their dead as psychological warfare, displaying them to weaken their morale. Instead, it had the opposite effect. Every fallen human soldier seemed to ignite a relentless fury in the survivors. They didn't break under the loss. They became more dangerous. Zalrath began to understand why other galactic empires had hesitated to engage humanity in open war. It wasn't just that they were good soldiers, it was that they were something else entirely. He had once thought the Dominion to be the ultimate force in the galaxy. But as he watched human soldiers rally against impossible odds, as he saw them fight long after any logical being would have surrendered, a terrible realization crept into his mind. The humans weren't just warriors. They were survivors. And they were winning.